And then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? Who will go for us? And then I said, here I am. Send me.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today marks the start of something new and a little bit different on this channel, and what I'm going to be calling the Real War Hero series. Now, it is no surprise or secret at this point that there has been a small handful of Green Berets, especially, that have been a huge embarrassment stain on the Special Forces community, image, brand, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to use my platform to let my community and my viewers know that those few bad apples are not indicative of the Special Forces community as a whole. And what better way to do that than to shed light on the guys that I'm most impressed and most inspired by in not only the Special Forces community, special operations, probably even infantrymen going forward as we do this series. And what better way to start this than with probably the Green Beret, who in my generation, I think has one of the most impressive and inspiring stories by far, and that is Nick Lavery, the Machine. Now, a lot of you probably already know who Nick is. He's obviously a prominent public figure, very popular for very good reason. But if you don't, you need to. Okay. Now, what the series is not going to be is, these 2-hour-long exposés from the time you were born to the time you retire. We're going to cover quick bio, most impressive parts about their career. But I want to give you guys things that I think are the most valuable about these guys' stories and these message. And for Nick, it's going to be his mindset. His mindset is incredible. And when you hear his story and the things he's accomplished, it'll make sense to you too. He's also an amazing public speaker, motivational speaker, if you want to call it. Anytime I'm looking for some motivation, want to get amped up, I like to listen to Nick. So we're going to watch a couple of his clips and talk about what I think is important in his message that you can take away from this as the average viewer. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps the channel and the video. Also, merch is restocked, but the Munchkin merch is already almost sold out. So if you don't want to wait for that to get restocked, get yourself over there and grab yourself some. Now, let's jump in and start the first episode of the Real War Heroes series. Now, Nick, who is he? If you don't know, okay? Nick, Green Beret from my generation, Global War on Terror, right? Long, successful career. Started out as an NCO, currently warrant officer. All right, but where does the story, I'm not going to say Nick's story really starts here, but where we're going to start for purposes of the episode is 2013 Afghanistan. Nick's ODA gets attacked by an insider attack, and Nick ends up losing his leg, above the knee amputation. Now, if you don't know about amputations, guys, below the knee, very, very functional. All right, you guys, I know guys, I've got multiple guys that I've actually been in first group with that had below the knee amputations deployed back to combat that were faster than me when they would run. Above the knee amputation is where things get very, very complicated. Okay. Nick went through years of surgeries, and in 2015, he passed a bunch of physical fitness tests and exams for him to return operationally to a Special Forces operational detachment, a team. And not only that, then deploy back to combat in Afghanistan. He's actually the first Special Forces, Army Special Forces soldier to deploy to combat with an above the knee amputation. Okay. It's just insanely impressive by itself. Most people, myself included, would have been out the door, medically retired. Okay. That injury is way worse than mine that I was medically retired from. And he kept on trucking. Now, he didn't just go back to combat. He also has accomplished some incredible things on top of that. He's also the first, and I believe at this point only, amputee to pass CDQC, which is the Combat Diver Qualification Course, dive school, known pretty much by everyone as the hardest school in the U.S. military. Okay, in dive school, you're doing open ocean surface water swims, 50-meter one breath underwater swims, weight belt swims. All these things are incredibly difficult with two legs. Nick managed to achieve with one leg, which I don't even know how it's possible, but he did it. Okay, he's also, I believe, the first amputee to become an instructor of the SOC-P course, Special Operations Combatives Programs course. Okay, and we even got to his combat awards, right? Nick's got Silver Star, Bronze Star Medal with Valor, 3 Purple Hearts. Okay, I hope I got that right, but that's just wildly impressive, insanely impressive. Okay, there's very, very few guys in our generation that have anything along those lines. All right, now I mentioned earlier, I'm talking about value being provided. Okay, obviously Nick's story is amazing, super inspirational, but the value you can really get from Nick is right up here in his mindset. Okay, he does a lot of public speaking, and we're going to go through 2 of my favorite of his sort of motivational speeches, and we'll talk a little bit about them. All right, so let's jump into the first one.
Why do it? And I was asked that question, sometimes I still am to this day, countless times. Hey man, like, are you some kind of like war junkie? It took me years to come up with the answer. The first element of that is the word faith. And the greatest thing perhaps about belief, it may be the one thing that nobody could ever take away from you, no matter what. You could be put in solitary confinement with nothing for the rest of your life, and you still have that. You decide what it is. Yes, we can be influenced, we can be manipulated, but you decide what you believe in. I believe we live in the greatest country in the world. And I can assure you that this country that we get to call home, this society that most of us take advantage of and take for granted every single day, is very much still a beacon of what's possible on this planet, without question. I also believe that freedom is not free. Freedom comes with many, many costs. Blood, sweat, tears, treasure. Somebody, in fact, a lot of somebodies are paying those costs. Somebody has to step into the breach. Otherwise, all of this, the overpriced coffees, gone like that. Someone has to step forward. So if we know that someone's got to step forward, who's going to go? And my last quote I'll use to reference this, yes, it does come from the Bible. It is from Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8, which states, "And then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?' And then I said, 'Here I am. Send me.'"
T for 30% off. Get back to feeling 21 again. All right, let's get back into the video. Here I am. Send me. Really speaks to the core of what it means to be a Green Beret. And not really just a Green Beret. Even, anyone who joins the military wants to serve, right? Where he says a lot of important things in that message, okay? Talking about freedom not being free. We say it, everybody thinks it's a joke. The average civilian and person in America has no idea, how do I say this, about the things that have been stopped and prevented by men like Nick that have gone overseas and eliminated Al-Qaeda, eliminated ISIS. All right. And he's right. You have to have those men. You have to have men, and I've talked about it in videos before, that are sort of break glass in case of emergency. Okay. And that's really what a Green Beret is, right? Someone that can go do the insanely hard, challenging, difficult, dangerous things on behalf of the American people, and the American people have no idea that it's even going on, but they get to sleep soundly in their beds at night because of it. Okay. Really important message. And yes, he's right. When men like that no longer exist, as they try to gut masculinity out of society, this experiment in freedom definitely will go away. Great message. Now, the next one I want to show you guys is, if you're looking for motivation, when I'm feeling down and poopy faced and lazy, and I don't want to go do things because my shoulders hurt, because I got, all these surgeries and my knees hurt and my back hurts. Sometimes I'll just watch. I'll watch some of Nick's stuff and then, kick myself in the ass and realize this guy's out doing things with one leg that, a lot of probably I couldn't even accomplish. Okay. So let's watch that one next.
So it's actually kind of simple. Most people are familiar with work. some are familiar with hard work, real hard work, and those are the people that are typically successful. They work their asses off. There is, however, I'm convinced, another level of output that exists within everybody. However, a small number of people actually gain access to this level of work ethic, to this level of production. For many, it required a significant life-altering event to gain access to this level of production. For me, it was getting my legs shot off by a machine gun. But the thing is, it was there the entire time. And while physical effort is certainly part of this, that's not all it is. Right? It's the discipline. It's the focus. It's the sacrifices. It's the pain tolerance. It's the relationship with fear. It's the relationship with failure. It's the dedication to these aspects of life. It's being able to leverage all these character traits, harness it, and extend what we're able to do. Those that gain access to this level of work ethic, those are the ones that reach their dreams. Because that's what it takes.
I love that too. And yes, that is what it takes. If you want to become a Green Beret, you want to be a Navy SEAL, what he's talking about there, actual, not just hard work, but obsessive work. I've talked about this in videos before. If you're not prepared to really give up everything, your relationships, potentially your wife, seeing your children, and dedicate literally everything you have to that singular goal of potentially winning a Green Beret or earning a Green Beret, you're not going to make it, right? Now, if that clip doesn't get you motivated, to go to the gym or go do something, I don't know what it does. Now, not only is Nick incredibly impressive from his mindset, also, he's a physical fucking beast, right? Me and Nick together, I met Nick one time. He's also incredibly humble, incredibly nice. I met him at a Green Beret reunion. Makes me look small, and the people on the channel know I make most other people look small. So he's absolute beast, right? But again, this is what I want to do with this series, right? Is show you guys that it's not all bad apples, right? And social media, and unfortunately YouTube, a lot of bad press from a lot of prominent older special operators. We all know that sort of painted special operations community in a bad light a lot of the time. And for every one of those, there's 100 that are actual quiet professionals and doing crazy, impressive things for our nation like Nick did and does still, by the way. Now, like I said, these aren't going to be super long videos. These are going to be fairly quick highlights so we can sort of pay homage to the guys in the community who I think are fantastic representations of what it means to be a Green Beret, a special operator. Now, I have said before, you should not idolize any of us, right? But you absolutely should be able to look up to and extract value from a message mindset from a guy like Nick. All right. So let me know if you guys like this type of episode, if you like the series. We're going to look at continuing to do it. And again, bring you guys positive stories about Green Berets, special operators, veterans in general. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the first episode of this series. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one.